Welcome back to Doing Football today. Essential draft strategy for you if you're drafting in picks 1 through 4. If you enjoy this video, make sure you drop a comment down below, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Tons of fantasy football content coming all throughout the next few weeks and even more so during the season. Jared, Superflex salary cap game on Owner's Box.
Yes.
I found some great values. Make sure you check out the blog for the next few weeks. We'll be talking all about the game. We'll be posting some videos about the game format. But Owner's Box has introduced a weekly salary cap game, Superflex format. You've got the Superflex position in your weekly fantasy contest, something that hasn't been done in the space so far.
Brand new.
$50,000 salary cap. Build your lineups. We're giving you a free entry. So $10 free entry if you use code DREW9. And you'll be eligible to win from the $100,000 prize pool. So
You went up to $15,000 without depositing a single cent.
yes, no need to deposit. Just sign up, build your lineup, use the code top right corner. There's that add promo code button. Just send us your lineups. As well, Discord. We've been firing the Discord. We're doing about 30, 40 minutes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, just talking some fantasy football, questions and answers.
Free advice for you.
Yeah, any advice you want. So join the Discord too. Let's get into draft strategy. We've done a video earlier, just general draft strategy. Make sure we're going to cover, all the spots you'd be picking. Drafts are picking up. I can tell a lot of people, home leagues, all that kind of stuff are getting going.
Getting really deep into the fantasy football season.
So let's talk about the first round. If you're picking in picks 1 to 4, we've got the same idea of what we want to do.
Yeah, we both really want to hammer running back early. And those running backs are the same for both of us. Christian McCaffrey at 1, Dalvin Cook at 2, Alvin Kamara at 3, Derrick Henry at 4. Get one of those 4 guys if you're picking in the top 4 in that order, and you're set in the first round.
Yeah, you've got that workhorse to carry your team, and they all 4 of these guys do it in very different ways. Henry's that run or nothing but 300 plus carries. These other guys can mix in as great pass catchers, which is great. It's all about the touches. Now round 2 on the swing back, you of course are waiting a little while to come back to you. We see it that you should be looking to target one of those 2 tight ends. Especially Darren Waller.
Yes.
Even if you're picking in, what would that comeback be? The
2-9.
2-9.
2-9's the earliest I would go on Waller.
Yeah, so you should be looking to grab Waller in that 2-9 spot, and then anything past that, if you're picking, like we said, 1, 2, or 3, and picking at the back of the second. Now, if a guy like Waller isn't available, I would say George Kittle is someone we like, but I think there's a lot more safety in Waller. So don't be afraid to grab one of these running backs with that second pick as well. We've mentioned it before, but the Swifts, the Dobbins, the Clydes, who else am I missing? If Najee was back there.
Yeah, Najee, Gibson sometimes, but he usually goes earlier. But there's a big drop-off we find after those guys, right?
Yeah.
Like Swift and Clyde are usually the last ones in that tier, maybe Dobbins. After that, once you get to like Chris Carson, Josh Jacobs, Miles Sanders, Darrell Henderson, then it's like, I don't know if I really want to take those guys at the end of the second round, beginning of the third round. Like it's too much. So if you can't get one of those running backs, you can't get one of those tight ends, then you're forced to take a wide receiver at that point, in my eyes.
Yeah, but what we really see is that in the your first 2 rounds, you can definitely get one of those. Or in the second round, you can definitely get one of those running backs we listed.
Yeah, for sure.
And then if you can, Waller would be a great add there at the back of the second. When it comes back to you in the third, look to grab that group we just mentioned. Yeah. Clyde and Swift tend to be the ones that usually I love
those guys in the third round.
Exactly.
It's workhorse potential all the way in the back in the third.
Yeah, exactly. So if Waller went, we are completely fine with you going RB, RB, RB. If you need to, go do that. Again, the fall off is substantial. I mean, I like Darrell Henderson. We've talked about him before. So he would be like the last guy for me to get into that group. But beyond that, it's a little bit murky. So I just make sure you crush running back early on.
Yeah. So optimal start through 3 rounds, either running back, tight end, running back, or running back, running back, running back.
Yeah, exactly. Because rounds 4 to 6,
then you're
just going to crush wide receiver.
Oh, yeah.
So this is where you build through that depth that's available. We've got targets for you to look through. So let's start with round 4. When it gets back to you, you've got two picks to make, right? We mentioned Woods and Lamb are the 2 ones.
Yeah, if Lamb falls you towards the end of the 4th, that's an absolute steal.
Yeah,
definitely take that.
Same with Cooper. It before. Cooper is probably one that might be more likely for you to see just with injury news and Lamb's really starting to move up draft boards. I remember when we were talking about him earlier. I'm not worried enough though that I would
not take Cooper at the end of the fourth round.
Absolutely not. Absolutely. The rapport with Dak is there. It's been proven. So I don't think that'll change.
Yeah. Mike Evans too. Another good end of the fourth.
Mike Evans is someone I haven't seen there, but of course if he's there. And then in the fifth, again, you're picking back-to-back here. We've basically got a group of about 4 guys you should look to target. It would be, like we mentioned, Woods and Lamb, Cooper if he's there, and then Ayuk and Tyler Lockett tend to be in that spot.
Lockett.
Yeah. Individually, our guys, me, Lockett, him, Ayuk. Those are great wide receiver twos. I'm not as big on Ayuk as Jared is, but I think at the wide receiver 2 spot, there's great depth in this group, and they've got safe. I think they have a lot of safety. I could see both these guys 100+ targets, Definitely. No problem. Now, before we move on with the rest, we're going to go through. We're through round 5. We're going to go through all the way through round 8. We have to talk about our new partners and sponsor at Manscaped. Look, before they even became a sponsor of the show this week, I was already using the 3.0.
So was I.
The 4.0 is here. You need to check it out. Look, put it to use this weekend. Just a fine job. You know what? There's some battles that you face when you're taking care of your business downstairs, and Manscaped will help you take care of it. And we've got one of the greatest promo codes of all time. Promo code BOX. You'll get a 20% off plus free shipping, and they'll ship anywhere to you. So get
I've never had a problem with Manscaped.
Yeah, get the lawnmower, get the 4.0.
Great
Take
purchase.
care of things downstairs.
Well worth it.
Well worth your time, and a much easier journey when it comes to shaving your nuts and all that stuff. So let's get to round 6.
Round 5.
We just did round 5.
Round 5. Yeah, true.
So 6 is where, again, you're waiting for that comeback between the 2 rounds. And we look to a few different players still at the wide receiver position, because what we've done, depending on how you went with those first 3 rounds, you've hammered running back maybe with 3 picks, or you've secured that tight end you don't have to think about at all. So you're set there. And wide receiver, like we said, because there's depth, we can afford to wait on it, but let's make sure we grab at least 3 or 4 players in that middle tier.
Yeah. And we're still very much so in the running back dead zone here. So
yeah, exactly.
It's hard to find a good value at running back. The only guy I would consider is Javonte Williams if he's still available at this point.
Yep.
Otherwise, just strictly look for wide receiver, or maybe even a quarterback. If maybe like a Dak Prescott still available, I'd be willing to hammer him too.
Yeah. That was one thing I forgot to mention. But the guys that we see in the 6th that will be of value to you, T. Higgins in the 6th round.
Love me some T. Higgins.
He's been really good in training camp. I'm starting to come around on him. Especially with especially what Jamar Chase has done the past few weeks. I don't know if you watched the game on Sunday or not on Sunday this past week, and then at camp on Sunday he can't catch the football right now. You ever had the yips?
I haven't, but it's because I haven't played football long enough.
Well, no, in any sport, the yips exist in everything.
Some of us are just built different.
I get the chipping yip sometimes when on the golf course. That's a battle. Mix that in with the 3 putts, and we're not where we want to be on the golf course. So Higgins is a really good option that I think will, again, I mentioned him coming around on him just because I think he's going to be the top option for Joe this season. Chase Claypool, I think high upside there.
Yeah. He's probably the only wide receiver in the Steelers offense I'm actually looking to target.
Yeah, and he always seems to be there for me. If you're in the 6th round, especially in these first 4 picks, you'll see him there. And then you mentioned Javonte Williams. If he falls to that spot, just you got to hit that draft button, because that could be that Cam Akers type volume that we saw last year that wins you a fantasy championship. So
I think the options are definitely open at this point for whichever way you want to go with your draft. If you want to go quarterback, running back, if it's Javonte Williams, otherwise wide receiver. But do not go tight end at this point. This is still in the tight end middle zone, which is, both of us have talked about this all offseason of we don't want to target these tight ends right in the middle, because they're not going to provide you the upside those top 3 running tight ends will.
Yeah.
But they also have a similar upside to the guys you can get late. So why take a tight end this early?
Yeah, draft capital's not there. Like a guy like Noah Fant.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Mark Andrews.
Never going to happen. So back, and then you're back with a short swing to the 7. For me, it's Trey Sermon. Especially if I'm not getting Williams and I have 2 running backs, or even if I have 3, the upside for Trey Sermon in that kind of offense with the amount of rushing workload that there's going to be available, to me, he's going to be their goal line red zone back too, even if he isn't the outright starter ahead of Mostert. So tons of value there. You've mentioned Sutton is an option there too.
I think we're at the point where it's just whoever's the best value. That's who I'm looking to take. Like, there's not really a position at this point that I'm like, oh, I need to take that position. It's just going to be whoever I like the most that's on the board. And like Sermon could be that guy. Sutton could be that guy. So whoever's best available, take them there.
Yeah, best player available, high upside to me is where we look. Let's talk a little quarterback. This would be when it comes back to you in the 8th.
Yeah. We
like to sit in this area. I've seen Hurts start to be around this spot. Tannehill tends to be there too in the 8th. I would even look to if Brady seems to be going a little bit earlier than that, but this is kind of your spot to grab a quarterback that's you're getting late enough that you're not taking too much of a risk on, and they've proved, like a guy like Tannehill has proven what he can do in fantasy. So.
He actually has a lot more upside than people think too. Like, just because he's got AJ Brown and Julio Jones on the outside now, like he's got a very high touchdown ceiling. Yeah. Just no rushing floor, or much of one at least.
Well, we've talked about before the touchdowns.
Yeah, he gets a lot of rushing touchdowns. Just because whenever he's on the goal line, it's an option play between him and Henry, and everybody just thinks Henry's going to get the ball. So it's free touchdowns.
Yeah. We'll mention this in every video we do because we are going to cover every draft pick that you might have. The 9th to 12th rounds, really, we're looking at the guys we like, some sleepers late.
Look for high upside.
We'll grab our tight ends here. Tyler Higbee will be the guy I'd probably grab in the 9th or 10th. If Antonio Brown is there in the 9th, you smash that button on Antonio Brown in the 9th. Corey Davis is someone we like. Mike Williams.
Love the rookie wide receivers.
Yeah,
rookie
Elijah
wide receivers. Moore, Rashad Bateman.
Don't draft Rashad Bateman.
Why not?
Because he's going to sit on your bench, and then you're going to be in a bind at some point. Like, let's say
he's going to sit on your bench, but by mid-season, he'll be in your starting lineup. Wide receiver 1.
What's he going to? He's not.
Yeah.
He's not.
He's elite.
Look, he's a good player, but I just don't think that he's not a player I would sit on for 5 weeks.
Most guys that get drafted this late are getting dropped anyway.
Yeah, that's true. But he's going onto my roster, and he's going to get dropped. He could get dropped, but he has no chance of being on my roster and staying because of performance, but because of playing well. He's sitting on my roster because I'm like waiting, like maybe he's going to hit for me. I just feel like he's a guy that's just going to end up on everyone's waiver come like week 3.
If you're willing to hold on to these guys, then you take the rookies. Like Terrace Marshall in the 15th round, I absolutely love that. Like, Terrace Marshall, I think, is going to have a much better year than everyone thinks, and I'm getting higher and higher on him every day.
Yeah, there's a rookie I would consider late. Another one is Marvin Jones that I would consider in these later rounds, that 10th to 12th spot. But again, we've gone through the strategy for you from rounds 1 through 8. Look, you got questions for us, you want to know what we think of your roster you've built in these positions, drop them down in the comments. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel, and of course, Owner's Box Weekly Salary Cap Game, $10 free entry with code DREW9. And best of luck in your fantasy drafts, because we're getting in prime season now, so we'll see you next time.